at you today. It is Wednesday, October 28th. Ooh, I'm impressed. I forget knowing the date that I know what day it is. Um, hadn't come to you guys in a while. Been going through a lot, including leveling up to, upgrading to level 48 2 weeks ago on the 17th. So that was pretty cool. Had a wonderful time with the family. It was like when we were singing Happy Birthday, and I posted the video, I think here, we singing Happy Birthday. I really was just looking around at all of my family's just individual faces and just really taking that in. It was very special. Still here in Kentucky dealing with COVID quarantine. In our county in Kentucky, we're actually doing pretty well. We don't even have double-digit cases, which, you go to the next county over where we used to live, biggest county in Kentucky, and they had like 300 cases yesterday, I believe. So we're good. Most of our state is in the red zone. So, we've got 4 kids, 2 schools, 1 elementary, 1 high school. At the high school, they're doing split scheduling, AB, beginning they did NTI till mid-September. Now they're doing the split schedule, AB, which is basically just that. It's they go Monday. My kids are the A schedule. You go Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. And because of my ADHD, yes, I have gone ahead and put in the every other Friday that they go in the calendar, because I'll sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'd remember that. And then some random Friday at like 8 o'clock, they'd be looking at me like, "So, Papa, you gonna take us to school?" And I'd be like, "Why?" And so there we go. I know me. I understand my limitations. And then our 2 youngest at elementary school, because their class size is already small, they go every day like normal. Obviously, well, like previously, I'm gonna stop saying the word normal, because I think new normal and old normal is getting so bastardized and tossed around that we just have to go like things the way things used to be and the way things are, and we can't talk about how they'll be in the future because none of us know. So they go to class. Now obviously their things are different. They, the time in the cafeteria is different, things, how they get there in the morning and drop off and temperature scans and all those fun things. So those are all different and new. And so other people have had the choice of doing Virtual Learning Academy, which is strictly online, not connected to the schools. And they broke it up to every trimester. So the week of Thanksgiving is the start of the second trimester, and like the elementary school is expecting a lot of influx of parents who did VLA for the first trimester to come back because there was a lot of frustration. So elementary may actually go to split schedule too. I'm hoping, and I mean, and it's not, I don't think it's like the entire elementary in our county. I think it may be like a select few. I'm just hoping they look at the district, and so all 4 of my kids who are in the same household, obviously have the same last name, or obviously siblings, are on the same day, because stuff will get really dicey in getting one, if it's opposite days, of getting 1 set of kids to school while I'm NTI homeschooling another 2, because I'm good, but I can't be 2 places at once. Sometimes I feel like I am, but realistically, no. So, it's having been my birthday. Also, my anniversary of my dad's death. He passed away when I was 22. And I was thinking a lot about that because last night the Dodgers wrapped up the World Series to beat the Tampa Bay Rays. And it's cool because as a kid, there was 3 teams I used to always watch when it came to baseball. And it was the Reds, because in our area, that's the local market. And to be honest, they always interrupted my afternoon cartoons, and I wasn't going to watch like soap operas or crap, so I still watch baseball. The White Sox, because Frank Thomas has been, will always be my favorite baseball player of all time, even though he does those Nugenics, low testosterone commercials, and it hurts my heart and ego because he's also only 4 years older than me, but it's a whole different thing. And then the Dodgers, and I just love the Dodgers. And of course, at that time, in '88, everyone was in love with the Oakland A's. You had Ricky Henderson, you had Jose Canseco, you had Mark McGwire, you had the Bash brothers. I'm just laughing because history would dictate how that turned out. for them as far as steroids and everything. And I'd like the Dodgers, and I remember when we found out the Dodgers and the A's were going to play in the World Series, and my dad loved Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, and he just gave me hell. And he was like, "Why are you sticking with the Dodgers? I don't understand why you like them." And when I played Little League, my Little League team was the Dodgers, so I loved them. And I remember when they won, and like my dad, because again, you guys know how I grew up, my dad didn't speak to me for 2 weeks. And I don't mean like gave me the silent treatment or like I mean flat out like I did not exist. Like I was like, you see those movies when someone doesn't know they don't know they're dead because everyone is not seeing them and talking to them. It was like that. It was like no one saw me, or and like he just didn't speak to me. And then it was after 2 weeks he just yelled at me, and he was just like, your stupid team won. No one's gonna remember that. Mind you, game one, Kirk Gibson home run limping around the bases is replayed almost on a weekly basis on sports stuff anywhere in the world. So seeing them win, just it made me feel good, because then I said on my social media, it was thank you for giving a 15-year-old, because I was a couple weeks from turning 16, a 15-year-old kid a one up on one of the two people that brought me in this world, and at the same time one of the two people I'm 100% sure hated me for being in this world every single day. So it was a nice feeling seeing that the Dodgers won. Saw some of the social media footage of apparently the fireworks and the post celebration in LA, and y'all wild, so I'm gonna say. And then so what else has been going on? I started a multimedia production company, Machine Dad Productions, and actually wrote, finished, and have started filming. Last night was night two consecutive filming of shooting for my first short film called Origins, and it's really neat, and I'm enjoying it. I also have on Machine Dad Productions doing photography and doing boudoir photography, French for bedroom photography. I said it right so many times, and I get on camera and can't say it right. So that's been neat, and bless my wife, because she has been the most gracious model. Because every 5 minutes when I think of like a pose, or I see something and I'm studying it, I'm like, babe, I kind of want to recreate this, because I want to be able to. And a lot of it is not just recreating it. I want to test my ability as a photographer, test my ability as a photo editor, and at the same time, honestly, test my ability in how I would speak to future clients, as far as making them comfortable and not saying boobs or this, like using honest words to make it a comfortable situation for the model, because it's obviously a very trusting situation, and to making the client feel comfortable. So it's been a nice thing, but I think she's probably getting tired of, I'm like, hey, we're gonna shoot tonight, and she's like, so that's been neat. And like I said, I hope to have filming wrapped up probably by next week, and then it will be editing, and I'll edit scene by scene, and then the part that I'm not scared of crap, but the most daunting task is going to be scoring the music for it, because it's scoring the music for a film, like flat out. Like if you were like, hey, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm going to the gym. I'm scoring the music for a film. Okay, like this is a conversation you can't really have with the average person. So it'll mean like watching things almost to the point where it's frame by frame to make sure the music is matching the tone that I want set for the viewer, and at the same time also keeping the speed going, and in some cases maybe carrying the speed to emphasize. Like I have it in my head, it's just when I sit down and do it, it'll be me, my AirPods, and my wife has created this nice workstation that I have a monitor to plug my iPad in, which is where I do all of my work, and so I can bring it up there to see it bigger when I'm editing and things like that. So I'm really excited for this. I even have like a dozen films that I want to do, and I don't say ideas because I have like title and premise and what they're going to be. So once I'm done with this, I'll take a little time to promote it, and of course, by the way, after I'm done with this, I also need to come up with a trailer, which is I think I'm less I'm less daunted by the scoring the music for it than creating a trailer. So, and all this has been going on. There's a lot. I felt like, I've said this before, I felt like with the barometric change of fall where, you know, 1 minute it was 88 degrees and the next minute it was like 4. And when I say next minute, I mean like next day. And then it would be like 72 and then it'd be like 13 degrees out. I feel like both my ADHD and migraines have flared really badly. And from what I've seen on social media and talk to my friends, I'm not the only one this is happening to. So, and I've called it sometimes where like I've just been in brain fog. And I have a really good friend of mine, hi Jessica, who will actually be my first Boudar model client. She talks about it, and she's a very creative mind. Like when I say very creative, I really mean genius, and I don't mean that as an adjective. I mean that as a noun. I mean that as proper, not exaggeration. And she was like, no, I get those times, and what you know, because I was brain fog and I was trying to work on finishing the script, and words were hard. And she was like, look, I have those days and it's hard and you're going to beat yourself up. She's like, even if I tell you not to, you're going to. You're just like me. She's like, but those are the days you have to just put it down and come back to it. And I did. I put it down. I came back to it the next day. I finished the script. And I was like, yesterday, I couldn't put together a subject, predicate, adverb, noun at all. Like, and today I have knocked off the script. And I was the first draft of it anyway. And I was so happy. So mental health, I feel like even looking around on social media and hearing from my friends and seeing things pop up on my feed, as I feel like it's a bigger deal. It's a bigger deal when we have change of seasons, and I think it's scientifically been proven. But also we're wrapping up this election, and it's even a bigger deal, if I can keep adding bigger to the phrase. And so a lot of people are having some tough times in their own right. And I've always been, as an adult, having dealt with being abused by my parents, being sexually abused by the babysitter. She lived literally right across the street for my childhood, I'm to the point where I'm very open in discussing my mental health, not giving anyone advice, because people ask me advice. I'm like, you've got it twisted. I'm not the person to tell anyone how to live their life or give them advice on how to handle mental health. I just know what I'm doing. Sometimes, and I don't feel comfortable enough to necessarily tell the next person what they're doing. So sorry, I just had to double check. So I've had people reach out to me, and privately, sometimes publicly, and a lot of times it's privately, and I respect that, and just say, I don't, and this is weird saying it because I don't say this out of ego, and I'm not saying this to pat my back or to make me sound grandiose at all, but it's people that are just like, you have no idea who you're helping by being so honest and raw. Because if I'm having a bad day, I'll tell you I'm having a bad day. Like, my social media is not filled. I've never used a filter in a picture unless it was a photo edit picture or something I was doing professionally. But as far as like if it's a selfie or whatever, I'm not using filters unless it's like the stupid one, like a cartoon one where I just look goofy, and I'll do that. But I'm not doing, I don't even know the names of them, like the ones that give you doe eyes or smooth your skin or make you look like the anime characters. But like, I don't do that. I am not a fan of mirrors and never have been. And thank you, Mom and Dad, for body dysmorphia, but I'm all I have. So that's good enough. And I had someone, a friend of mine, she knows who she is, and I don't want to bring attention to it because it was a private conversation, and I respect that. But she just reached out to say, we had a back and forth, and she had said, I don't think I've never told you. She's like, I was going through a hard time with something. And again, I'm not gonna give specifics because it's no one's business except hers. Going through a hard time, and I see your posts, and they're always raw and they're honest and vulnerable. And she goes, I've never told you how many times you've kept me going. And she is actually seeing she had spoken to her therapist. She was a really dark place a little bit while ago, and her therapist prescribed her medication, and the medication's working, and she's loving the effects of it, and she just wanted to say thank you. And I got teary-eyed reading it, and to the point where I had to like come back and read it because I was like, I'm gonna cry, and I didn't want to cry. And I just told her, I said thank you, and I said I think you've inspired my next YouTube video. She's like, oh, I'm gonna go watch. I was like, no, I gotta film it first. So, joke. But I just, if you're going through a hard time, and I know there's a lot of people that are in situations where they're perceived or real that they can't be public about talking about mental health, and you just need someone that's going to listen, that's non-judgmental, and more importantly, not going to try to give you advice to fix you. I'm your dude. Like, you can reach out on my social media. It's very simple to find me. And we can talk. I can even include links below for my social medias, and just message me and we can talk. And it's one of those, like, you just need a vent to say some stuff, or you need someone, a lot of times you need someone to talk to that is not necessarily going through the same thing as you, but they can understand because they're going through their own stuff. Like, so, and I think that's where we get rid of some of the shame. And I also think that's where we build unity together, is realizing that struggles are not our fault, regardless of what media or anything will try to tell you. And sometimes shit happens to us, but when it does, the ones that are the ones that are left, the damaged villages, so to speak, after the storm, they shouldn't have to go into hiding. They shouldn't feel shameful. It should be the people that caught the storms that caused the damage that should be shamed. And so I am not some superhero that's like, oh, every day is great, and just pray yourself out of it and just think positive thoughts. Or if you exercise, I've had people say, oh, I got over my depression by exercising. That's not how it works. That's literally scientifically, chemically imbalanced brain, not how mental health and exercise works. Everything you do to, I guess, combat or work with your mental health, and again, mental health and mental illness are not synonymous. You do with your mental health is meant for you to manage it in your everyday life, and it isn't one thing. It's, for me, for my ADHD, it's medication as well as exercise and therapy. And I have to have all three of those. When I went through the time that I wasn't able to exercise, when all this NTI was going on and I didn't have time to myself, I felt that difference. Or when I was, when I recovering from spinal surgery and I couldn't exercise, I felt that difference. So I'm not that person. I'm not the person that's gonna just think good thoughts and you'll feel better, or just be proud, just be happy that no, I'm not, or, someone has it worse. And I'm not gonna hit you with the comparison bullshit either. So I'm just putting that out there. If you're going through some stuff and you just need to vent, like, you're not looking for advice, you're not looking for judgment, you're not looking for someone to fix a situation, like, I'm your guy. And if you're looking for a therapist to talk to, my therapist, Dr. Katie DeShields, is absolutely phenomenal. I've referred her to probably about a dozen different friends, and every one of them has been like, oh my God, you're so right. She's amazing. She's awesome. And 30 years of trying to find successful therapists and all the things that have gone wrong with the therapist, she's the first successful one I've had, and I've been with her for about almost 3 years. So, all right, I've gone on long enough. I'm done. Like I said, I just wanted to reach out to everyone. So I hope you guys are doing well. We got 6 days till this election, even though I don't think, not only do I don't think we're going to have all ballots counted in all ballots counted because we go by the electoral process, but the voter suppression conversation is a different conversation. I also don't feel like when there is a winner declared, that all of a sudden everyone is just going to like relax and chill out and love each other. Whoever loses is going to say it was rigged and it was cheated, and they're going to fight this legally and social medially, which I don't even think that's a word, for a while. So I think the supporters of whoever loses are going to be very, very angry, and I think the supporters of the winner are going to be very gloatful and it's still going to be conflict going around here. And even if suddenly whatever changes, like, well, vote. How about that? Just vote. There is no excuse not to. So I hope you guys are doing well. Do better, be better. One love. I'm out.